Good morning, wrestling fans, and welcome to PWR Today. It's Thursday morning. It's 414 Day. It's Milwaukee Day. It's April 14th, 2022. The man they call Meathead and the M.O.T.S, Matthew Thomas. Did you know that today was Milwaukee Day?
Is it Milwaukee Day because Milwaukee was founded in the year 414 AD? Is that why? I don't know. I don't know what 414. Oh, is that an area code?
Matthew, have you ever looked at the numbers that call you from the Milwaukee area? We're the 414 area code.
Yeah, okay. I got there. Like once I articulated, I'm like, oh, you know what? That would make sense. Yeah. I'm not in these days. Nobody remembers people's phone numbers or anything anymore, much less area codes.
Well, it's 414 Day. It's opening day at American Family Field, formerly known as Miller Park. The Brewers coming off a 2 out of 3 series win in Baltimore. Matthew, we're going to have to look at the calendar and see when the Brewers make their way to Denver, Colorado, and maybe work something out there.
Oh, my God. You know what? You make your way to Denver, Colorado. I'll show you a time. What we'll do, we'll catch the game, and whoever's playing at Red Rocks, we'll go see whoever's playing at Red Rocks.
Fair enough. All right. But when I'm at Red Rocks, I'm not allowed to have no shirt on. So what kind of shirt should I have on?
Oh, no, you can go topless. That's perfectly fine at Red Rocks.
Meathead won't be topless.
But maybe you
see. I'm at that awkward stage right now. I'm building muscle underneath, but I still haven't burned off the top layer yet.
Maybe you want to, have a shirt that you wear in the car or something, or in the parking lot, and then you want to go topless once you get in the actual Red Rocks proper. So if you want a Red Rocks attire, you can go to collarandelbowbrand.com, enter promo code LindaK, LINDAKAY, save 10% off of your haul at collarandelbowbrand.com, and then you can be all packed for your Colorado trip.
Again, I think I mentioned this to you, but there is a direct flight that goes Appleton to Denver.
Yep. And we can show you that we can do the Coors tour, man. The cool thing is the Coors tour at the end, you get 3 free drink tickets. And if you don't like Coors beer, then I can take your 3 free drink tickets. So I can have 6 free drink tickets.
Well, at the Coors tour, I hope they have some Miller Lite there because Coors bought Miller. So
yeah, no, they don't. It's not an option, unfortunately. But
we'll have to talk to Adolf.
Yeah, lucky for you, I've got it in.
I know you got it in. All right. Let's talk a little bit of wrestling news. Brock Lesnar apparently has not been booked for the WrestleMania Backlash pay-per-view that's going to be happening at the beginning of May. I thought the Brock Lesnar was going to get Backlash because remember Backlash, there was nothing more than, the backlash of WrestleMania. Hey, here's what happened at WrestleMania, and, people are wanting their rematches from WrestleMania. The only thing I miss from Backlash is those big swinging hooks they used to have, but no, Brock Lesnar, as far as it looks, is not going to be at a WrestleMania Backlash.
Well, and WrestleMania Backlash, that's not to be confused with a backrash, which is what you get when you don't wear collar and elbow brand material.
Allegedly. I don't know. I've never had that kind of party.
So I don't think we're going to see Brock for a while.
You think he's out on a farm? It is, growing season, so.
Yeah, I think he's got to plant his crops, and he's
not sowing his seeds, right? He's not sowing his royal oats, is he?
Yeah, I mean, it's time. Yeah, he's probably sowing a seed or two on the farm, but he's put in. Brock has been working pretty consistent from pretty much since SummerSlam. He knew I was in attendance in Vegas at SummerSlam, and he came back at SummerSlam, and pretty much SummerSlam to Mania. So I think we might be going into Brock's off season.
Okay, well. Right now, Brock, not in the title picture. It looks like it's heading towards Shinsuke and Roman Reigns. Last year, remember, we had Cesaro and Roman Reigns, and we thought it was a big build for Cesaro, and then Cesaro got released right after. So,
hey, let me tell you what I think would be a great idea. And I don't know if you've seen the graphic that's going around. Not the graphic, but the meme is what the cool kids call them. But basically, the summer of stadiums for WWE, they have got stadium in Vegas, in early July for Money in the Bank.
I think SummerSlam is in Nashville, correct?
In a stadium. And then you've got a UK stadium, September the 3rd. As popular as it was when Brock was a heel, now imagine Cowboy Brock that everybody loves. Would this not be a great year for Brock to repeat as Money in the Bank winner, and we get Brock winning Money in the Bank and bringing back the Brock party, I think that would go over
Ooh, ain't no
so
party
well.
like a Brock party, because a Brock party don't stop.
Super over babyface Brock with his boombox. Would that not be fantastic?
Oh, yeah. And then have R-Truth kind of come out rap with him.
Oh my goodness, that was gold when it happened, and that was
Because
before
it wasn't supposed to. And R-Truth is just making Brock laugh, and it wasn't supposed to happen.
That's when people were conditioned to, I mean, to expect monster heel Brock. And I mean, Brock's still a monster, but Brock's now the lovable babyface that everybody loves. And
Okay.
bring him back, let him win that, and just bring it out. Walk around. Except this time, I think you could get a year out of it. I think you could have Brock walking around with his boombox briefcase for a year.
Okay. Let's talk AEW video games. Remember about a year and a half ago, we got the announcement that AEW was in the mix to get a video game. Well, it looks like it might be getting released about September. Now, I haven't seen any new images, screen caps from the video game. The only ones that are still going around are the same ones from about a year and a half ago. And I hope to God that's not what the game looks like, because the one that keeps going around is Kenny Omega looking like he's wearing Mr. Goodbody's, bodysuit over the top of it. Face looks good. But boy, oh boy, they got to work on the body, especially Matthew. You're going to tell us, with WWE 2K22.
Oh yeah, somebody that has been out of the video game industry for almost 2 decades. When I saw the ads this year for the WWE's latest offering, I mean, that will stop you in your tracks. It's like, my goodness, I did not realize graphic technology had evolved to this. WWE is putting on a great, and I've not played it. I mean, I can't speak for the gameplay or what it actually looks like once you get it in your console. But it looks damn good on TV.
Now we're going to do this Tony Khan news and lead right into results of Dynamite from last night. Tony Khan had mentioned that last night's Dynamite was going to have a lot less talking and a lot more wrestling. And we got some bigger matches really last night. Now, is this the formula going forward? I know he said he's planning on tweaking Rampage a little bit. So the Rampage coming up tomorrow night will be live in Dallas. I don't remember if it was Austin or what city it is, but there's going to be a Texas death match. And it's going to be a Adam Page and Adam Cole for the AEW World Championship. And I believe that they're going to be recording Battle of the Belts 2 to air on Saturday night as well.
And I mean, here's the thing. I don't feel like the talking in AEW is a big problem as it is. I mean, at least with Rampage, they have it chock full of wrestling. I mean, Dynamite is a full wrestling show as well, too. I feel like they've done a good job balancing out promo work as far as wrestling goes. So if that's the direction he wants to go in, fine. But I don't feel like it's a major. I
don't think it's holding them back. I mean,
no.
That's not been a complaint that we've had about AEW is they're talking too much. I don't think I've ever said that.
So let me ask you this, and I think we probably know the answer, but with Rampage being a 1-hour show tomorrow night, you're going to have to start it off with that title match, right?
I would think that's what they open with.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not going to run 60, but in a world where it's a possibility, it's a 60-minute time limit for a title match, you would have to give it plenty of time.
So here's the thing. When that goes live, let's say they start off with that title match, you do realize that we'll be head-to-head with SmackDown for the last hour.
Will it? Because it's a new. They're 5 Eastern, right? SmackDown would go live at.
Wait,
8.
Is the show at 6 Eastern or 5 Eastern?
I think it's at. I'm sorry. So
I thought they're going an hour early. Normally it's 10 Eastern, 9 Central.
So
and if they go at.
But the graphic I saw last night, I think said they're going at 7 Eastern.
If they're going at 7 Eastern, then that means that they're going to be going.
They would be a lead into SmackDown, right?
They'd be a lead into SmackDown, yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Here's the other thing too. This is going to be on TBS. It's 7. If I've got my time right,
it's going to be on TNT.
TNT, that's right. But 7 Eastern, man, you're potentially having a Texas death match earlier than prime time.
Right.
Which is just, and I think
right.
I told you before, a gym that I used to go to, they would consistently have it on TNT. So a lot of times, they would be playing Dynamite. And so we're Mountain Time. So Dynamite goes live here at 6. And I never caught it in a night where it was a especially gruesome, bloody match. But I'm just imagining somebody, which that would actually be 5 Mountain our time. Somebody just casually walking on a treadmill.
Sort of just going to eat dinner, or and all of a sudden you see dude dripping in blood. No, you're exactly right. 7 Eastern, 6 Central on TNT tomorrow night. So,
yeah.
Poof. I don't know, man.
I was in your Central Time zone for a while. When I was in Dallas, man, I was in Central Time, so I haven't spent a lot of time in your time zone. But I was in Central for about a week
what you've done is you've now lived all 4 time zones in the country, in the continental 48 at least.
I have. My goodness. So Eastern, Pacific, Mountain, and Central. Is there another one? No. You know what?
Well, in the continental 48.
That's right. I've also been in the Hawaii time zone.
Well, there you go. Na. You were a Howley. All right, let's continue on. Let's talk about Dynamite from last night. And you know what? We started off with a match right away. This time we did get intros. Again, that's the difference between a 1-hour show on Rampage and a 2-hour show on Dynamite. We got intros, and the crowd literally went banana for CM Punk taking on Penta Oscaro with Alex Abrahantes. And I don't know. I mean, I really do love Penta, El Cerro Miedo, and I like his alternate ego, the one that carries the golden shovel. But the Devil Priest thing, it doesn't do anything for me.
What detracts me from it is his manager. Like, I can
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I can kind of buy his gimmick, but his manager, to me, what I think when I see that Meathead is like the stereotypical Dracula or vampire costume of a second or third grader. All right, say you're in elementary school and you're going to dress up like a vampire.
He's wearing religious garb. I mean, so if you look at it, he's wearing like a pope or a cardinal's gear. He's just wearing the demonic one. So I mean,
I haven't looked at it that close.
Right, that I haven't had any issue with. It's just that I think it doesn't add anything to Penta's character. But what an amazing match between Punk and Penta. And you know what? Punk ended up with the win. There was some nice reversals at the end. The crowd absolutely into it. Punk with the victory.
And great storytelling. I mean, they really took that up a notch when Punk slipped off the ropes. And if it was not an intentional spot, I mean, they absolutely used it to, sell. Basically, Punk was selling his leg, I think, at that time, and really told the story of the rest of the match. So just a really, really solid professional wrestling match.
I have a question for you. So if the Jericho Appreciation Society is supposed to stand tall, why were only 3 people getting out of the plane and 2 people were dumped out of the car? Did the other 2 guys not allowed to be in the plane?
Maybe they had very strict weight limit on the plane or something.
Parker and Menard were pushed out of the car from LAX as Eddie Kingston and the boys showed up right when their private plane landed and parked. And they said, New York is back, baby, and I'm taking your shoes. Dude, you know what would have made that a little bit better instead of the silliness of, 2 of the members of the Jericho Appreciation Society? Not only did they take his shoes, they should have took his wooden gun as well.
Yeah, that's
you know what I'm talking about, right?
That would have made sense. So you're talking about wooden guns is what you're talking about. Shoes and wooden gun. No.
Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg movie, the other guys, where they kept stealing his shoes and then they took his gun and they took his wood gun and they put him on a train. Never mind. It would have been funny if it would have happened. But no, they stole the shoes. And I think that was absolutely tremendous. Let's talk AEW World Tag Team titles. Jurassic Express and Red Dragon. I loved the fact that they really made it out to be a dastardly move by Red Dragon afterwards for going after Jurassic Express. They made it seem like it was special, and it was wrong.
Yeah, I was actually hoping we would get a Red Dragon victory here in the fact that, I don't know. I feel
I'm
like
willing to bet they have a rematch, actually.
Yeah.
For Battle of the Belts or the pay-per-view.
I hope so. And I think you got to get the titles on FTR sooner rather than later. I mean, they are so hot right now. That FTR pop was absolutely
FTR
insane.
came down at the end, and again, the place exploded.
Yeah.
Now, here's where I could see them also battling too, because they showed them the Ring of Honor belts. Red Dragon, former Ring of Honor tag team champions, and the current tag team champions of Ring of Honor is FTR.
Yeah.
Does that happen at Battle of the Belts?
It's possible. It's possible. But the crazy thing with FTR, I mean, they've been a well-respected tag team for quite a while, and they've been on AEW fans' radar. But I can't remember the last time there has been such a meteoric babyface response like FTR is getting right now. I mean,
they're so hot right now, Matthew. Raw closed out with a tag match.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
let's not let that slide underneath the radar. Raw closed out with their top tag teams.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. And it just like the FTR thing has not been a slow simmer. It has basically been, I mean, you could see the face turn coming, but as far as the crowd response, it hasn't been a slow simmer. It was basically FTR, being FTR, getting the response they have gotten until the babyface flip. And
when they dropped Tully.
They're foaming at the mouth.
Yeah. All right, Tony Schiavone backstage with Tony Storm and Jamie Hayter. This promo did nothing for me because Tony did nothing.
Yeah, no, it was Jamie Hayter.
And I'm talking about Storm. Yeah, not Schiavone.
Tony not saying a word.
Yeah, Tony has done again. Match number 3 was MJF versus Captain Shawn Dean. Came out in camo. And Shawn Dean now has 2 victories over MJF. I sent you a message to make sure you were live before I told you. This is absolutely phenomenal TV because Wardlow is also just a white hot, okay? A white hot babyface. He's tearing up the entire group in the back after he tore up the entire group on the side, and the crowd loves him. Him jumping in the camera and saying, this isn't over until I get my match and get out of my contract, and then destroying the camera. Perfect. What TV?
How many teams have you seen split up and it just kind of fizzles out? There's one, or basically them split up and the babyface kind of fizzle out. Go back to, was it Miz and Alex Riley years ago? And I mean, just you think of things like that. There is typically, when there is a split like that, there is typically one person who gets the short end of the stick. My goodness, this has been done so very well. I mean, MJF is as big a star as he's ever been, but the crowd, again, they are absolutely just foaming at the mouth.
I was foaming at the mouth for the 9 cup. Stop!
Stop! You foam at the mouth quite a bit, but that's a different.
3 times whatever they're paying.
That's a different. That's a different story. But no, this has been fun and just an absolute great build. Whatever they need to do to keep this momentum with Wardlow after this feud, I hope they do it because they've got something here.
Eddie Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz. Again, I can't say enough when Santana and Ortiz come out in the Dead President's look against the Jericho Appreciation Society, which was Jericho, Hager, and Garcia. JAS with a little bit of a new intro. Jericho Appreciation Society, brought to you by, or something like that. I don't remember exactly what they said, but the most recognized symbol in sports entertainment. It's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah, that's really good.
Jericho Appreciation Society with the win, and they beat down Santana, Ortiz, and Kingston at the end. MJF, by the way, how many times was Smart Mark Sterling on camera last night?
Yeah, they're getting their Smart Mark mileage there.
I mean, they paid him to come to the building, so they put him on his camera as much. It's like when I used to do voiceover work. I told them, just pay me when I walk in the building. You can get all you want out of me, but I got to be paid when I walk in the building. So they cut like 4 commercials out of me, and then I could leave. So Mark was in the building. He had already eaten. Let's get Mark to work. So Mark Sterling doing paperwork for MJF, and MJF will have Wardlow will have a match next week against the Butcher, who he rented from the the Andrade family office.
This will be fun, and I look forward to another week of crowd response for Wardlow.
Marina Shafir against Sky Blue. Here comes Mark Sterling again on camera, hanging out with Jade Cargill. Marina Shafir, I want you to keep an eye on her. She adjusted her boobies at the end after her win. This is one to keep an eye on. I think she's the one that's going to be going head to head with Jade.
Yeah, no, it's going in that direction. Whether she's the one that takes it off of Jade. I mean, she's done some work on Dark. I know they highlighted her, kind of her track record on there a few weeks ago. But interestingly enough, though, it felt like a little bit of a departure from the crowd response here. AEW, and we'll get to this a little bit later. AEW has been very fortunate in the fact that they've got a very smartened up crowd, and a lot of times the lights will go out and somebody will appear that you and I who cover this stuff might not recognize, but the crowd is very, very hot for.
Right.
Not a great crowd response on this one, but I mean they're progressing the storyline, and this might.
Marina Shafir is going to be a badass. She's going to be an absolute badass.
Yeah. And this might ultimately be who takes it off of Jade.
Hook is just hanging out in the workout room, and now it's time for Tony Nese to have his, hey, you know what? You just came in here and I've been here forever type promo, because it's the same promo the last 3 times he's had matches with anybody. So apparently Tony Nese will get a match with Hook probably either on Friday or next week Wednesday. Hook is going to blow through him. And Danhausen tried to curse him and then fell again. Danhausen, it's got to let him go. I don't think he's going to get the curse on Hook.
What I love, though, we're seeing in the last couple of weeks with Danhausen, we're actually hearing him talk on AEW, because
the last
he
had he had never said anything. Exactly.
And to me, that's so much of what makes Danhausen is this guy's, voice
very,
and
very
delivery.
Nice, very, very evil.
That's pretty spot on right there.
Thank you. Oh, I tried to put on the curse. Yeah. So again, I'm ready for him also to perform too. I want to see him wrestle at some point.
Yeah.
Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky, and Dan Lambert with the promo. Sammy Guevara getting a title shot at Battle of the Belts, and another little dig at Brandy Rhodes in there. Did you hear Dan Lambert's little dig about the most annoying couple? Apparently, they're not the ones that are gone. You're still here.
Yeah, interestingly enough, though, and you saw it last week. There were multiple reports from I can't remember where they were at last week, but it seems like the crowd might be turning a little bit on Sammy. And
they're returning more than a little bit.
Yeah.
The Sammy and Ty Conte stuff is not going over the way they wanted to.
It doesn't. Couples don't work, man.
I wouldn't say that. I would say that this smarmy 21-year-old, 22-year-old looking couple, like they're post high school, that doesn't work. Butt naked with the championship belt and disrespecting a belt, that doesn't work.
Yeah. I say that, but then you go Savage and Elizabeth. I mean, it's happened before.
They look like adults.
Yeah. It's happened before, but more often than not, and what's in my head right now is the little run they tried to do with Becky and Seth. This is before they were married, but it was his girlfriend, her boyfriend. Yeah, it seems like more often than not in this era, it's better to kind of leave that alone. But it's a shame because, as people who have been with that company from the start and, sacrifice their bodies, Sammy's work rate
is amazing.
And what he's done on a weekly basis. And I don't like to see that due to a bad booking decision. And I unfortunately feel like that's the way that they're going. And whether that's just a one-off or whether, that's going to echo. But crowds parrot other crowds. So they see somebody that's starting.
That's what happened with Cody.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on real quick here into Team Taz, Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs versus Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee. What an amazing tag team match. Ricky Starks is from Nolans, and you could see the emotional in his face. They told the story real quick that he was forced out of his home when Hurricane Katrina came through as well, and he's finally being able to come back. This was an amazing match with even Taz at ringside. The winners, Team Taz.
It's delivered on so many levels, and something I realized after last night that I didn't know that I needed. I want to see Taz out there ringside with Team Taz. That was that worked. And of course, you had a crowd that was happy to see Stark's team get the win. But my goodness, I think we need to see Taz ringside more.
I asked you this off air, and I'm going to bring it on air. How do we get the belt off of Ricky Starks and make Hook the FTW champion? I just thought about it. With that huge response he got today, do they kick Ricky Starks out of Team Taz?
Yeah.
But didn't they just do that by kicking Brian Cage out of Team Taz?
Yeah. I don't know. Starks needs to be highlighted more, and I feel like he's had that belt for so long. It's not doing anything for him at this point. It actually
the belt belongs with Hook. I think that's where it needs to be.
Yeah, it might be pushing him. I mean, because that title more or less is Taz's endorsement. I mean, that's what that title is at this juncture. I think they do need to get that title off of him and have him. I'm not so sure that you can't turn the entire Team Taz face at this point. That reception, I think people want to cheer Ricky Starks. People want to cheer Powerhouse Hobbs. And apparently after last night, people want to cheer Taz as well, too. Yeah, I don't know.
Nostalgia.
It might be, but again, like I said, you talking about crowds parroting other crowds.
Yeah,
that was the match of the night for me last night, and it was accentuated by having Taz out there. So who knows if they try it again, if they get a similar response.
The main event. Now, Matthew, we also talked off air and bringing this on air. You and I, sadly, are going to agree on this. I wanted to have differing opinions. The main event was not a main event to me. I'm more interested in watching Joe. I'm glad Joe won the Ring of Honor Television Championship off of Minoru Suzuki. But I've said this before when Suzuki was wrestling Moxley. I know that the internet Mark Smart fan, the one that is, well versed and is into international wrestling, knows who this guy is. You haven't told me who this guy is on American television, so I have no effing interest in this dude whatsoever. So watching him work with Samoa Joe and them chopping each other for 2 minutes, that doesn't mean a damn thing to me.
Yeah. You're going from a kayfabe storytelling perspective. Okay, I'm tougher than you, so I can take the punishment that you're dishing out to me. Okay, so that's what they're doing. They're open hand slaps, not closed fists. That's the psychology element of it. The other part of it, though, is you've got to suspend disbelief to a point. It's like, all right, don't just stand there and let somebody hit you. Go on the offensive and try to win this match. So it's like you're making a case for it within the context of the match, but you're also having to really suspend disbelief because it doesn't make sense to have somebody stand there and just hit you. And to me, we're going back a little bit more towards kind of the whole mutilation side of the deal, because we're not really telling a captivating story, at least in my opinion, but we're watching the welts and we're watching the bruises, swell up there. So it's like, it's just not my cup of tea. I'll ask you this question, because I was thinking to myself when I was watching this, do I prefer two guys bleeding all over the place or two guys chopping each other? And I don't know the answer to that.
I'll take the chopping.
Yeah. Here's where I'll err on the side of the bleeding, in the fact, if done properly, hopefully it's just superficial, wound there, a light cut to the face. And
with a lot of aspirin to make it very thin.
Yeah, you can still wrestle and tell a story. I feel like it's a lot harder to tell a story when you just got two guys just hitting each other like that, Yeah,
they're not for me. So at the end of the match, we have the lights go out, and Matthew thought that his wrestling show was over, but no, they came back on, and it's Sanjay Dutt and Jay Lethal in the ring, and they bring out what is his name? It's Satnam Singh. Apparently, this guy signed with the NBA, but he's also been training in AEW with Sanjay Dutt. So they beat down Samoa Joe.
Here's the thing: I don't think it was really even regardless of who you are as a wrestling fan, it's probably not somebody that the casual wrestling fan is going to know. And the broadcast team had to tell you point blank who that was.
And it still doesn't mean a damn to me.
Yeah, I felt really bad for the crowd, and that crowd reaction came across. Like here's that surprise right there. that was probably one of the biggest stud finishes that AEW has ever had.
No, we know what the biggest. No, Matthew. The biggest stud finish. Come on, Moxley Omega.
Yeah, that's a pay-per-view though, right? I'm talking about just weekly television.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moxley Omega on pay-per-view with the barbed wire match.
You know what? The credit I will give them, I don't know what they did, but 2 weeks after that, we weren't talking about that. And AEW has done such a good job of doing so many good things right. When they do have a dud, it doesn't stick in your memory. Like, I had to go back a little bit in my memory to get that in the fireworks.
You said dud, and all I can think about is a dud firework. I mean, it's it's forgiven but not forgotten. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Matthew Thomas. Well, that has been Dynamite for last night. That's the news for the day as well. Again, 414 day. Make sure you're following your Milwaukee Brewers on Milwaukee Day as they open up against the St. Louis Cardinals. Did you know that Albert Pujols is back with the Cardinals? I mean, it's like 20 years later, but he's back.
Hey, you know what? Things have a way of coming full circle.
Secular. Last year, there was a reliever that showed back up with the Brewers again by the name of John Axford. I'm like, John Axford? Didn't that dude retire like 10 years ago? And it really was, dude. And he came up, pitched one inning, hurt himself for the rest of the season, he retired.
Oh, my goodness.
And it was too bad because we all loved John Axford. John Axford loved Milwaukee. I'm like, who's next? Gorman Thomas from the 1982 Brewers? All right.
Never say never.
Never say never. No, Gorman's up cooking at Gorman's Grill. Matthew, one of these days when we get you in the 414 again, we'll have you come over to American Family Field and show you what a real stadium looks like.
Fantastic.
So, for Matthew Thomas, the man they call Meathead, hey, thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you again one more time tomorrow. So long, everyone.